So to continue our celebration of the closeout of the Superpowers campaign, we've pulled in Simon Lucas from his busy day on making sure all of these products are finished and produced and shipped and arrive and all that good stuff. So welcome, Simon.
Hi, Chris.
So the big news: we have a product on the boat. ETU is officially on the boat.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's somewhere in the Pacific right now. We're expecting it to dock next week, but it's a little uncertain in these times when exactly that'll be.
Yeah, right. It is kind of crazy. So you were showing me that like you're on top of this. You actually have a global positioning service that shows you where all the boats, where pinnacle amazing stuff is happening. And
satellite, yeah,
right. So we have satellite technology, guys. We're a small publishing company, but we got some tech. I want to show people this. It's actually pretty amazing. So this is the current global shipping situation, right?
You can see the stream of vessels leaving the Far East and kind of like meeting it at those congested ports on the West Coast there.
Yeah, right. It's crazy, and people don't realize that like there's really just two major ports. It's like Long Beach being the biggest one for a lot of the goods coming in from overseas to the United States. And there's kind of unprecedented situation at the ports, right? They've got like fewer people who are. It's a really well-paying job too. The guys who use the cranes to take product off of ships and put it into the yard, but like the yards are filled up. They don't have room for the product. Like product that already got put in the yard has been buried by new product coming in on top of it. So all the kind of efficiencies of even stuff that's landed on soil is lower. And then you can even zoom in and see that there are dozens and dozens of ships that are just even waiting to dock, right? I mean, usually it's 5 or 6 ships or less, and now you can just kind of see that there's a whole line of ships waiting, just sitting out there, just waiting to get in. I mean, look at that. That's crazy. So
yeah, it's super congested, and it doesn't just stop there either. Once the vessel's landed and it's been off, all the cargo's offloaded, then it's moving on to the trains, and that's all congested too. So, I mean, we found that with Blood Drive that the container, that even after it had been unloaded, it was held up in Chicago waiting for containers there to be moved. So, yeah, it's a difficult situation right now.
Right. So guys. So we're just informing you guys to know that stuff is on the way. We've got some cool other things to show you with that, but we'll get to the ETU stuff at the end, because that's the stuff we actually have production samples, because those are finished, so you guys can see not even production samples, like final retail samples of what
the actual print samples.
Right. So actually getting to see what you guys will get when you pick that up in the stores, or all you backers when we get it shipped to you. But other than that, we've got other cool news. So to take advantage as much as possible on efficiencies and to not gum up our own works, I think you've almost managed to get Flash Gordon on the same boat as the Pathfinder stuff. Is that?
That's the aim. We are still waiting on Flash proofs, so we're not going to delay Pathfinder at all for Flash Gordon. That was kind of my key point, was like, if we can get them on the same boat, that's great. Basically, it would mean that we'd manage to get Flash faster, but we're not going to hold up Pathfinder to wait for the Flash proofs. So we'll see if they come in very soon, then we'll be able to hit them on the same boat, hopefully. But yeah, so that's just a lofty goal at the moment.
Oh, it's awesome news. But so even though Pathfinder isn't on a boat yet, it's still in production and quality control with the printers, but they have sent you some fun goodies that we get to show on screen.
Yeah, so Pathfinder, we have had all the proofs for Pathfinder. They've been approved now, so that's good to print. We're just waiting for the actual production to finish so that we can see the final product. But we've got the pieces of it. It's a big project. It's probably the biggest thing we've done all at once. So there's a lot. The proofs that have come in are the pre-print proofs, so they're in a state that they don't really look like a bound or finished book. But the boxes and the cards, they look basically done. We've got the bennies; they were done a little while ago, and the dice samples are all done too. So we're just waiting on when the printing will be done, and we'll be able to show off some more finished samples. But for now,
let's start with the stuff that's pre-fairy godmother Cinderella. Oh, we're going for the box. Okay, going big, going for the
box. I can back up, and we can do it.
No, do the box, man. You've seen it. People will riot. It's a hefty box.
The Ultimate Core box. It's pretty huge. It's about the size of the Suede Essentials box, a little bit larger, but about the same size. And that's going to house all of this good stuff.
Oh, there's so much good things in that box, man. So yeah, they haven't done the inserts yet, so it's not super packed.
Right. Yeah. So the inserts hold everything in place for shipping and for storage, but right now it's just the empty box with everything in it. But in here you're going to get the poster map of Golarion. Cool big map of the inner sea.
So that's the correct dimensions of what people are going to get, but it's not the final like high gloss full color.
Right. Yeah. These are they call them Ozolids, but these are just on a very basic paper, and the colors are all washed out too because they're not printed on the right paper with the right kind of richness. So the actual print will be much more this kind of style. You know, it'll be a rich stuff, nice and glossy on a heavier paper. But these are just so that we can check it for errors, make sure that nothing's trimmed off that shouldn't be there, that we didn't leave some kind of like boxes around, text boxes or something like that, just to make sure that the print will actually be fine. Then, of course, there's the core rulebook, which is a hefty 256 pages. These are bundled in the same way, but stapled. So they end up being much thicker than the actual book. But you can see how the book is bundled together like that. And then on the front, this weird pink pattern is the UV. So that's where the gloss varnish will be over the dragon and the characters and the shiny logo.
Yeah, that gloss varnish really does make for a classy edition. Like I love, when it just catches the light just right. And I think
I like the matte finish to the book, and so I think it looks kind of classy. But then the gloss just sets off those images. So
it saturates the characters a little bit more than the matte. So
yeah, including the Rise of the Runelords books, everything's got a spot varnish on it, so they should be nice and high quality looking. And then you have the bestiary in there. That's 128 pages.
And that is the right way to say it, folks. There's no A in the word. It comes from the Latin. If Shane were on right now, he'd be making fun of us, but it's bestiary.
That's how I say it.
Right? That's the right way. Bestiary is best. And that book people are excited for because, that's really one of the first, there'll be several hundred monsters that you can just poof, right? Like,
yeah, I'm not going to say how many monsters are in there.
Okay. Lots and lots of monsters.
There are a lot, yeah. I'm not even going to show off the contents, but there's a lot of monsters in there. Then you'll have a set of dice. I've just got the wild die here, but this is the wild die.
Lovely dragon head on that. That's nice.
And it's the same symbol as the wild cards have throughout the game too.
I think it's the first time we've showed off that symbol too.
Oh, yeah. I should have kept that under wraps.
Oh. Secrets have been revealed, people.
Then we have the bennies, which always sound good. And so, I don't know. These are really detailed. These are like the cover images, so they are. I don't know if I can hold it still enough that it'll focus, but that is, I believe, the Karzok battle. Yeah, it's not focusing great. And the cover of the bestiary is another one.
There we go.
That's a bit
Nice.
better. Classic Goblin Raid.
And those are pretty hefty, right? Like they add a decent amount of weight to the box.
They do. They're pretty solid. There's.
And those are like the same kind of clay bennies that people have come to expect from the
They're the same as the rest of our bennies. Yeah, they're just with this gorgeous Pathfinder art on it. So they're in there, and then there are a set of archetype cards.
Those are a fantastic size. Those are quite nice.
Yeah, they are great. So you get set 1 in the box. So these are the iconic characters, iconic Pathfinder characters, and get a lot of shine there.
Oh, there's a lot of those cards. That's fantastic.
Well, there is. We increased it. Normally we do sets of 12, and for Pathfinder we did sets of 24. So you get you get 2 complete sets of the Iconics, one at seasoned and one at novice. So you can if you want to start them from scratch, that's great, and you can play them through. Or if it's a convention game, you want them to start a little higher rank, you can start them at seasoned.
It's a really good idea. Yeah, those are super useful, right? I mean, you want to sit down, run, play, run through Hollow's Last Hope, search your characters.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal, right? Is that you can just jump straight into Hollow's Last Hope. Everything in here that you need, from the dice and the bennies all the way through to, we have these. There'll be 3 punch board sheets in there that will have tokens for all of the various statuses and the templates. Right now, these are just printed on paper, but they'll be on nice thick cardstock like the pawns.
And that lovely die cut process too. That's always pretty neat.
3 decks of cards in here. So there is the power cards, status cards, and the new chase deck.
Yeah, show the side of the chase deck. I was amazed about how thick those are. Really kind of thick decks. They're not just regular playing card decks. They're pretty.
Well, the boxes have been made larger because what we want to do, they'll come with this this card insert in there. We wanted to make sure that you could sleeve the cards and they'd still have room. So you can see there's a little space around there.
Oh, nice.
And they'll be shrink wrapped inside the box too, so they won't get bashed around in transit. But the chase deck is a full 54 card deck, so it's has enough to run a quick and narratively exciting chase.
Oh, those are lovely. And again, if folks missed during the campaign, we had a video of a demo of the chase deck with Jody and Simon and Shane. So I'll link that, but you guys can go check that and see that chase deck actually in use. But that's a pretty new exciting thing too. I think there's a lot of clamor for people to start adding those kind of chase decks to the rest of the Savage World systems because they're super interesting as far as the mechanics go, man. How you balanced it and
I mean, I don't want to commit to anything, but we are talking about it, so it's something that we might see more of in the future. And then you get the chase deck insert, which has all the rules and how to play. What else? Status cards. Again, there's room for the sleeving if you want to do that. And these are all the statuses with their effects on the cards. So,
well, that's a great thing too. Is that Pathfinder for Savage Worlds is kind of a unique in kind of the books we've produced recently, in that the entire core rules is also included. So the status cards cover all of the core rule status cards too, not just the fantasy parts of the game.
You're not joining me with status cards then?
Status. I like it. I will. Status.
And then the power cards. So this is a deck of all the powers that are in the Pathfinder books. There's a few extras that aren't in Suede. And then you also have like all of the power modifiers on the bottom of the card as well. So
that one a little lower so people can see the top. Because I got a template on.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, schedule and aluminium are where I draw the lines.
Vitamins?
Oh, yes. I mean, herb and herb are fine, but yeah, no.
No. Okay, so and the status cards have the effect of the spell. Oh my god. It is really not.
I think between the two, there we go. That's right there is where it is.
Yeah, nice. So the status cards have the effect of the spell. And then also down at the bottom there, you can see it's got all the power modifiers as well. So everything you need for your spellcasters in, I think, 65 cards in that deck. And then there is the action deck. So this one is oversized action deck. This is actually a slightly thicker card than the Deadlands one, which was on a thinner cardstock. This is on 300. Okay, and here we've got just every card has a full character on it.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, Paizo have been absolutely fantastic. They've given us tons of artwork to dip into.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of artwork that we didn't even show during the campaign. The Jokers, look at those. So
that is just super cool. And I love that picture on the back too.
Yeah, I think people are going to be excited opening these up and just seeing, just how much of the art. We showed a lot during the campaign because there's a lot in this project.
Yeah. No way to show it all. It's just absolutely tons. And so we've been very fortunate. So that is everything in the core box, I think.
And that's just like, for the people who went all in, that's just one of the boxes, right? I mean, there's the whole other Rise of the Rune Lord box, and I mean, so
there are a couple of other items that were not included. So everybody who backed the print will get the print companion as well, which again is it's not bound yet. So this is just the interior pages that are going to fall out if I try and lean them too hard.
And that brings the book total up to a massive 10 books between the 7 Rise, the 2 core, the companion, and then a print version of Hollow's Last Hope. I mean, there's just a lot. I mean, it's
like 10 books, and then the print adventure for Hollow's Last Hope, which is here somewhere. Here it is. So again, this is not the trimmed version, but otherwise pretty close. So this will be a nice slim volume, but this is bound with the screen. If you buy it separately, you get the screen and the adventure.
And then the screen is pretty huge too, right? I mean, the deceptively large.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the low-res printout. I've just moved it, and now I can't find it.
Of course.
I put it safe. Oh, I put it in the box. Yeah, so it's a usual sort of tri-fold screen. You can see there's fold lines on here, so it'll actually be just this height. It's the same board that we make the hardcover covers from, so it's thick cardboard, and then it has the 3 images on it, which is just classic, beautiful pattern.
That looks fantastic. And yeah, then the inside. Oh,
interior is black and white, but the exterior is shiny stuff.
I mean, and those are my favorite because they make running the game right out of the box super simple, right? You don't have to spend all this time memorizing tables, all the stuff.
Yeah.
The best stuff is kind of right at your fingertips.
But I think there is a ton of accessories in this box, but I think all of it is really useful, right? So that the GM has the screen, and the players have got their power cards and their archetype cards that kind of just have everything at your fingertips. You're not always looking stuff up. That's the goal, that you can play easily, right? And that people who don't know the game don't have to go digging through rule books for the information they need.
Nice. Have they sent you the Rise box yet? The actual outer
they
box?
Have. So this is Rise of the Rune Lords.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
So this one is probably a little slimmer than one of our usual setting boxes, but it's about the same size, very, very close to the same size. And similarly packed with stuff. In fact, this is what you get inside.
I mean, and there are 7 hardcover books, right? Are they hard or soft?
No, they're soft cover. The books in here are soft cover.
Nice.
Hardcover books wouldn't fit in this box.
That's so many books. I mean, I just love it.
So you get the Guide to Varisia. This is a slim one. It just has the background material for all of the areas around the campaign, and then six bigger books that cover the campaign itself. I won't read all of the names.
Well, that's the other amazing thing about these Rune Lords is I mean, that's hundreds of hours of play right there. I mean, to go through, even Savage Worlds is fast, right? But man, like that's a pretty good amount of material for you and your campaign group to run through the Rise of the Rune Lords.
Yeah, I mean, even when we were playtesting, even when we were kind of like not taking as long to roleplay as you would when you were playing it for real, it still was weeks and weeks of play just to get through the whole thing. But it's a great campaign, and Mike's done a fantastic job of translating it for Savage Worlds.
So, all things considered, I mean, it's a ton of books, a ton of production. When is like the best estimate on when we think this will begin to get stateside?
I'll distract you with a map while I'm thinking.
Oh, nice.
That's the map standpoint, and then the last thing that's in there there are 6 sheets of handouts. So all the handouts in the book are then reproduced here, so you can cut them up and have them to hand out. So we are waiting for the printing to be done. Then there'll be the interminable shipping. my best estimate is that it will be here early December. So that's what we're looking at right now.
That's pretty amazing for again, given the global situation and then all of this. I mean, I got to hand it to you, Simon. This has been, I think, it's the biggest single number of books, number of maps, number of items, pawns, and all that other stuff that we've been doing recently. Of all of it, this one campaign has been, I mean, obviously 10 books, multiple boxes, the cards, everything.
I mean, this has been huge, and the other part of it too is that, you know, we've had tremendous feedback on the forums, and from all the backers have been giving us just great feedback from everything that they found. But of course, implementing that meant if we fix something in core, it knocks onto the companion, it knocks into the bestiary, it knocks into every book of Rise of the Runelord. So, you know, it's been a nightmare to keep on top of it all, but very, very much looking forward to seeing the finished books come through.
Yeah, and then speaking of finished books, we mentioned ETU right at the beginning, so I think we'll finish with those. This is what the books look like when they're just finally done. The UV is on the covers are done, all that good stuff.
Yep.
Oh, the satisfying thud. See, people love the thud, man. It's the only way we know how much things weigh is the satisfying clunk.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, so ETU is was a much smaller project. So we have, this is what, obviously the companion will be a little bit thicker than this, but it'll be this kind of thing. Get the nice gloss varnish.
So yeah, you can see that spot UV. So like the monster and the chupacabra on the front have the spot UV, and the rest is that really nice matte.
The fancy end papers, and then it came out really nice. And then there's the conversion guide. We've got the archetype cards, the little postcards that were backer exclusives, and the 3 sheets of pawns.
Yeah, those are fantastic. Yeah, so on the pawns,
I have them out of the shrink wrap here, so I can actually show you some of the creatures. There is a spoiler creature on the second page. I won't show that one. And then a selection of demons as well. You can never go wrong with demons.
Right? And then even on those, a good number of those.
On those.
Yeah, Jess did a fantastic job getting as many as possible as we could on those sheets. And then
it's not easy to make those things, right? Just we're trying to keep the size consistent across all the lines as much as possible, and trying to figure out the size of some of these demons. And some of them were using old art too, so the art wasn't the right size for us to use. So we were kind of constrained in a lot of ways, and fitting everything on there and leaving enough space that they can actually die cut it without it like breaking the sheet. It's quite a technical thing, but she did great.
And then a lot of those have back art too, right? That they sort of
all of them do, yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, for the most part, unless the creature is sort of facing sideways, like one of the wolves down there, we don't pay new art for that. But all of the rest of them will have front and back art.
Oh yeah, I love it. Even the demon has back art. You can check out what the guy's got in the trunk.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think, over the last couple of years, the innovations in the pawns. I mean, everyone loves bennies, right? And then the clay bennies are fantastic. But I think that the pawns have been a really kind of a new, fun, exciting thing, and the fact that we are adding them to so many of our lines. And then Paizo was great enough with the Pathfinder stuff that they're re-releasing their pawn set. And
pawns, yeah.
So, I mean, the fact that people can bring this to their tabletop is really exciting.
I mean, I love to paint miniatures, but I don't have that much time. And so having pawns that are for the game, designed for the adventure, even, where named NPCs have got the correct pawn, it's so much easier than having to keep on top of a whole ton of minis.
Right. Well, and it also means that, all the VTT stuff that we're doing, the art we're doing for the pawns instantly becomes great VTT assets so that people can use them on their VTTs. So, and you are the force behind that work as well. So,
well, I mean, we're working on the Rift spawns at the moment, and again, Jess has been putting those together, and that's a huge set. There's a lot in there, so looking forward to seeing those coming soon.
Right, and soon is good. So thanks for spoiling a little bit of the dates. So guys, the early December is when we think these will be landed in the United States. Not sure on when they'll begin shipping, and obviously that's all up in flux. The world is a fluid situation.
And I mean, you saw that map. There's a lot of ships going around at the moment, and it's not easy to know exactly when they're going to arrive or be offloaded. So.
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, just you hear the stories about just things that have never really existed in the industry too. I mean, in all of shipping, the fact that there are, the empty, it's taking a long time for empty containers to get back and get refilled, and people are trying to do opening up bidding for getting their product into a container, and then their containers on ships, and it sounds like the literal Wild West.
Yeah, it is a little like that now. We have been told that. Where previously they would book a spot on the container, now you can't be certain that your product is actually going to end up on the container it's supposed to be in. So hopefully that's not going to last too much longer, because that's a level of uncertainty I don't need.
Right, especially going forward. But so ETU is on a boat, and it's on the way. We expect that hopefully
next week. That's the most recent information we have.
That's pretty close then. So that's awesome. And so ETU is well on its way. We might luck out and get Flash Gordon to dovetail in with Pathfinder, but Pathfinder is going to get on a boat as soon as possible, as soon as it is printed. But yeah, Simon's been doing diligent work, checking out all of those proofs, making sure there aren't any mistakes and all that. I mean, it's amazing how many run throughs. I mean, between getting the PDFs and the digital files created for backers, and then getting the digital files for print sent to the printer, and then all the feedback that happens between that, and then the one or two little errors you find afterwards, you got to go back and fix, hopefully before it gets printed. It's an amazing amount of work.
We've been through it a lot, and it's had a lot of eyes on it, but it's a lot of words, and so there's a likelihood that something will have slipped through. I mean, when people point stuff out, it's you just sit there and look at it and go, how did I not see that? But you've looked at it 100 times, it's start to overlook things after a few times.
Well, congratulations on getting all that out the door and onto ships for us. I think people are super excited to see that all of this is coming to fruition, and that we're going to have the lovely Savage Pathfinder to play in the new year. That's a great way to kick off 2022. And so thanks for joining us, Simon. Appreciate you showing us all the goodies that you've collected. And other than that, we'll let you get back to work.
Cheers.
Cheers.